Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where if you're like me, you've been playing a lot of weird-looking Runescape versions lately, and none of them kind of hit the same. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. And if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. This is a show about old school RuneScape, and we are Xpwaste. We're going to talk about a lot of different things related to old school RuneScape. Sometimes it's news, sometimes it's game updates, sometimes it's things happening around the game, things we like about the game, tips and tricks. You never know what you're going to get on the show, but that's who we are. And if you're not new around here, I didn't play RuneScape for 9 days straight. And that has to be the single longest streak of inactivity I've had in 5 years. And I don't know. I'm tentatively playing again. I'm not necessarily like calling the strike over, but I didn't play at all like for 9 days straight. And that felt like a good reset for me. And I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. So I haven't been like absolutely bored out of my mind, but we can get into that. But I want to hear about you, Oxie. How are you?
I've been good. I feel like I have been at like a never-ending stream of busyness.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know, man. It's just been, I think fencing's picked up quite a bit. Fencing's picked up a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been going to practice frequently. I had like every quarter we do a board member meeting. So I had a board member meeting on Friday. So it was like practice Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, meeting Friday. What did I do on Wednesday? Oh, I had to edit on Wednesday. So yeah, it's just like it's felt like there's been something every day going on, and I've been playing some other games. I got back into like the original Halo Wars. Just been like playing little skirmishes and that. I've been playing a lot of balloons, unsurprisingly. What else have I been playing? Oh, the thing that has consumed the most of my time, Arcane. I watched the second season, and what an emotionally devastating show.
Oh yeah.
I saw the first season, but that was a long time ago, and I had several friends like hounding me to get on the second season, and I finally did. And part of me wishes I hadn't, because wow,
Damn.
I was not ready for a lot of that show. The one that killed me was episode 7. If you've seen Arcane season 2, episode 7 was hell on earth. It was so good, but holy shit, it was so good. I wish I could watch it again for the first time because it was so good. That's what I did a lot of my day, like last night. In RuneScape, I'm kind of playing. This whole no membership thing has really kind of put the kibosh on my motivation to do like anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else is feeling that too, but like it's been strange. Like I did some Coliseum runs this morning just to say that I did some Coliseum runs, and I think I brick walled on wave 6 both times. Like I think the first was I just flicked a Manticore wrong, and the second was like my options were like Frailty 3, Totemic, or Bees, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. Like, no, it was Solar Flare 3. It was Solar Flare 3, Totemic, or Bees, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I don't want to do this. And then what else have I been up to? I did Summer Raxor. I did a little bit of that. We did some raids on Friday. I've been doing more clues as I've been getting them, but it's just felt very like, I don't know. It's like I have a lot of things I want to do, but I don't know if I want to do any of them right now.
I kind of feel the same.
It's very strange. And I haven't put membership back in the GIM. I think we could probably talk about it here in a little bit after we hear about your week, but I don't know if we're going to get any more info that would make us happy. And we probably got to ask ourselves some questions, which we will here after you tell me about your week, because that's literally all I've been up to. I don't know, but
I could make this into a Red Dead Redemption podcast because that game is a lot of fun, and it's on sale currently. I feel like until the first week.
Michael made me buy it.
Yeah.
Michael made me buy it on Friday.
I did. It's $15 for like the base game and $20 for the Ultimate Edition.
$5. You
Which-
tell me you don't have $5?
Which the Ultimate Edition comes with like a free horse, some guns, and a cool outfit. So definitely worth it for the extra like $5. But 15, 16 bucks for hundreds of hours of content that will, like, this is the type of game for me that I look at the clock and it's like 8:30. And then I'm doing a couple missions, I'm riding around, I'm hunting, I'm upgrading things, and I look back at the clock and it's 11:30. And I'm like, "What?" You know, it's like I haven't had that in a video game in a long time where I could literally just sit down, controller in hand, and, you know, bust it out for hours and hours and hours at a time. RuneScape kind of is like that sometimes, but it's also not at the same time. There are days where, you know, like I got into raid after raid after raid and suddenly 6 hours has passed. But this game has consistently held my attention. And when I'm looking on Steam, it says I have like 98 hours. But I don't think that's accurate because sometimes the clock is running when I'm just like the menu is paused. So if I had to guess, it would be probably closer to like 85, maybe 75, between 75 and 85 hours.
Bro, you're trying to tell me you spent 20 or 15 hours in menus?
Well, I don't know.
I think you've been playing it a lot more than you think, dog.
Maybe.
I think 15 hour, like, it makes sense for a game like RuneScape. I literally think I finished my Coliseum run and then AFK'd at the Coliseum bank for a good 45 minutes to an hour and didn't do anything because I was just like up and around doing other stuff around the house. But I feel like I feel like you've been playing it for about 90 hours.
Maybe
a little less. But
I have lost track of time is basically what I'm trying to say. And like a lot of that time has not been spent doing anything AFK in RuneScape like it normally would. So the cool thing about the way that I've been doing it, how I've been playing the game, is I have an app on my Apple TV called Steam Connect, and it allows you to like stream your PC game to your TV. And so I'm playing it on my big TV out there as if I have a console, but it's running off of my computer. So I'm playing on the big TV. And then my wife, we brought out like one of our old little TVs and we hooked her PlayStation up to that. And so she's got her tiny TV. I'm playing on a TV and we're both playing Red Dead Redemption together. And it's been some of the most fun that I've had in a video game in like a long time. It's just fun. So it's very convenient to just like sit there for hours and hours and hours because I don't have to be sat at my PC. And that also doesn't allow me to like do any sort of AFK stuff in old school, which I'm fine with. I think if I was doing anything AFK, I would probably either be like woodcutting or trying to get my rune crafting up or maybe doing some, what else is AFK? I'm already done with mining. That's probably the most, maybe fishing. I could do some fishing AFK, but yeah, that game, I hope you get into it soon, Oxie. I really do. It's a lot of fun. And it's like opening my eyes to potentially starting some other similar games. Like maybe I'll give Grand Theft Auto a playthrough, or maybe I'll do like an actual
Grand
sit
Theft
down.
Auto 5's got a good story.
Yeah. So it's like these games never really appealed to me, but maybe I just haven't gotten like far enough away from old school to really appreciate it. Because like Baldur's Gate 3, I haven't finished that. That's definitely something that is right up this alley as far as games that are like this. There's like I could go through and play like old Oblivion and Skyrim and all those games. I still don't think I'm into Fallout as much as I want to. The progression in the game doesn't interest me as far as like, yes, it's like really good lore, but I don't know. The whole game, I've given it so many tries to play Fallout 4 and it just hasn't happened. And maybe that's a sign that I need to like do New Vegas or another type of Fallout game and see if that story is any more interesting. I also want to play Red Dead 1. There's just so many things. And I still want to make chunks and dents into my RuneScape goals for this year. So many things to do, so little time to do them. But this week I got 92 Slayer on old school, which isn't really saying much because before my 9-day break, I was only 20k away from 92. So basically, had I spent another like 30 or 45 minutes before I, stopped playing, I could have had 92 Slayer. But this now opens me up to the possibility of doing Araxites and Araxor, which I just finished my Slayer task of neck reels. I'm literally about to like extend them so that if I do get an Araxites task, they're instantly extended. And that's only 150 points. So that's pretty easy. But I hope to have an Araxor task and give that a try on the GIM. How I'll do it, I don't know, because I'm at least, what is this, 6 levels away? No, wait, 90, is it 94 for, it's 94 for antivenoms. Yeah, I'm 6 herblore levels away from having a reliable, like, extended antivenom a source. Right now I can make regular antivenoms, which is not the worst, but they're also 1 minute. I'm sipping like at least an entire dose during an entire Araxor kill. So it's not necessarily sustainable to do that. So I already have the Arania boots. There's nothing that I really need from the little ones. So like if I do get an Araxites task, I'm going to really focus on trying to do Araxor, which will be fun. I did a bunch of Araxor in leagues, but the comparison is like, it's not even close as far as what that experience is going to be like, because I killed Araxor in, I think, 20 seconds in leagues with the Kopesh and the Specialist Relic. And literally, I was just scything it the whole time if I wasn't using my Kopesh. So the mechanics are fuzzy to me. I got the walk down. I can do the little step whenever it's in the enrage phase, but like what I do with the little spiders or how I manage the boss itself, I'm not sure. We're gonna figure that out. But I'm excited for that. I'm still pushing for 95 and 2K total at this point. I'm close to 99 strength, which will be kind of cool. That'll be probably within the next like month or two. I say month or two because I don't know what my RuneScape schedule is going to look like. I'm only 750K away, but I'm not actively playing. If I was actively playing, I'd get that in like by the time the next episode comes out. Like it would be pretty quick. But that'll be my third. I think it's my third 99 on the GIM. So I'm 98 strength, 93 attack, 92 defense. The goal for 2025 is going to be base 99s in the combats, which I think is doable. It's very, very doable in the sense that like they're almost always something that's not trained actively. Like if I'm going to get 95 Slayer, I'm going to be training my attack, my defense within that. So I think it's range that's going to be a little bit of an issue, just because range generally, if you're a main, you either do a cannon, like you have a cannon for almost any AFK Slayer task, because that's like passive range XP, or you can just buy chins. I have neither of those on this account. So it's going to be something that I actively have to work towards. And likely that XP will come naturally through like raids and doing Gauntlet and just like PVM outside of Slayer, I think. Because there's not many like actual Slayer encounters that you use like a rune crossbow for, or like an MSB. Generally, at least the Slayer that I'm doing, it's almost always like, hey, I've got my whip or my zombie axe or whatever, and smashing it with melee. So, or magic with burst tasks and barrage tasks. So range might come a little bit later in the year, but definitely still doable. I'm 91 range. And then
get yourself a ball phone.
I know. Man, the clicks were so cold doing those raids. I'm glad we started with like not Tob. We got so close to clearing Tob. Yeah, it's whatever. But we did
with the 2 GIMs. I knew we weren't gonna.
Yeah, we had
with two of our, because we don't have
Fear, Jack, and then Oxie was the carry.
I mean, yeah, which is unfortunate. I think we're not ready to go together to Tob. Because I went on my main because my iron still doesn't have membership. We're not ready to go on the GIMs. We probably won't be ready to go for quite some time. I think we just need to get more stuff. I think, yeah, like more. Like you brought the tent whip. That was cool. Like Fear probably needs a tent whip. But it wasn't terrible. I think the secret isn't, it's not you guys, just you guys need to go with people who have top gear and are top ready.
Yeah. Like I am at the point in my account, like skill wise and gear wise, where I need to be carried somewhat, I think. So like I can hold my own until I think Verzik, which will just be more practice. Cause dude, I was all over the place.
The P2 first,
could not get it.
Michael does this really fun thing when he's really trying to do well, where he does not say a word.
Nope.
And I know Michael is white knuckling the keyboard because we did Tob, and there were plenty of times where he was just like quiet. Like he would make conversation with us, and then there would just be like nothing coming out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh no, he's just like locked in. Like he can't not focus on anything. And I've learned over the years that like don't distract Michael when he's in that Zen mode, because it's not like he's zoned out. He's like an animal backed into a corner.
I'm zoned in.
If you're like, so Michael, how's the weather? He's like, shut up, can't die. And you're like, God damn, okay. Like because so Michael was plenty of, I don't think you were as white knuckly at Zarpus. I don't think you were white knuckly at Nilo. Bloat you were white knuckling at. You didn't say anything at Bloat. You didn't say anything at So. You didn't say anything at Verzik until you died. He died at P2, and then you just heard, oh, like he finally let off. Like he was finally able to breathe when he died. He died right before P3 started, too, which was disappointing.
But it was my goal to make it at least through P2. But got very close. Yeah, Soat is like, I don't know what's wrong with Soat. I think it's just that maze. It's the unknown of the maze that still is like my performance is like the entire team is riding on my performance. If I mess up and I get a click wrong, it's over. It's potentially over. Or my team is screwed over and everyone's mad at me. I know it's literally just like you got to do it, take it slow, click where you got to click, but I haven't had the chance to practice it because in leagues we just ran through the maze. Like there was no strategy involved. We just ran through and ate, because at the end of the day, when you have an inventory full of Karambwans, you can take the damage and like get redemption and get over there. So Soat is just going to be figuring out the maze, and then Bloat. It just takes, for me, it takes a lot of concentration to move the camera, click, watch where he's going. It's not that it's hard. It just requires a bit more concentration because I haven't gotten that sense of like, I know what's going on. It's a bit chaotic for me. So it's a fun raid. I will admit, I enjoy Tob to the point where I think if somebody says, hey, would you want to Tob? And I have some time, I would say yes, because the raid is fun. I won't say it's my favorite. I still love Chambers. To me, Chambers is like such a like relaxed and easy raid, and the rewards are pretty great. I have most of the things that I would need, but like still need scrolls for the team. The occasional mega rare might be nice. So, there's still content that we can squeeze out of these raids. So, and then Toa, I don't know. I still have a love-hate relationship with Toa. It's a fun raid. It just, to me, it's boring. I don't find the raid to be very interesting. And maybe that's because A, I don't have gear, or B, I'm not up in those invocations to where it makes it interesting. But like,
it doesn't. The higher invocations don't make it interesting. They make it more difficult. The only thing more interesting about higher invocations is getting purples.
Yeah.
Or so I've been told.
Right. So purples are always fun and they're great motivation. But like a shadow would kind of derail a lot of things. And then Fangs and Lightbearers is really what I would be after, because like Missouri is cool, but I don't have anything. I don't have anything that would make it worthwhile. I do. I have range gear, but like I'm not going to Armadillo anytime soon. But yeah, man, the clicks were cold, and I still feel like they are cold, and I need to just slowly get back into it. slowly get back into the game. Somebody, I think it was Otis, he said, "Is the strike over?" And I think for now, I'm tentatively saying like I'm not logging in, but I'm not making this game my whole life for the time being. Like it has been pretty much like I can say without a doubt, like pretty much the only game I've played within the last 4 years. I took a short stint and played some Baldur's Gate. I've taken the occasional week or two break and played Minecraft. But even when I was playing Minecraft, like I had my other monitor with RuneScape up. And even when I was playing Baldur's Gate, like there were still times where I was like mining while I was playing. And so I would say probably maybe until something new comes out, maybe till we get the Delve boss after RuneFest, maybe in the summer, maybe for bingo. I don't know. I'm not putting a timeline on when I'll be trying to come back, but I'm enjoying this time where it doesn't feel like RuneScape is my only thing. And that's weird to say. From the perspective of who I've been over the last 4 years, of like since 2020, my journey with RuneScape has been damn near an addiction. And I don't say that lightly in the sense that like, oh, I'm addicted to RuneScape. Like it has been so many hours. And I recognize that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like having hobbies, having things that you enjoy is a great thing to do. And at this point, I'm trading one addiction for another in the sense that like I've put all the time that I would be playing RuneScape into Red Dead Redemption. So it's not necessarily like I'm kicking the habit, but it is something that I feel has been a large part of my life. Started a podcast, been very involved in the community. I've gotten RuneScape tattoos. Like this has been a big part of my life over the last 4 years. And it's not something that can just go away for me. It's not something that I can just hang up my hat and walk away from. So the strike is more of like sending a message of like, hey, you guys are you should be working for the players, and anything I can do to like remind them of that, whether it's canceling a renewal, canceling a membership altogether, not logging in for a while, taking less time to play the game. I'm doing what I feel like is necessary. You do what you feel like is necessary for you. We're not going to shame anybody for logging in. We're not going to shame anybody for buying bonds. Like you do you, boo boo, and I'm going to do me. And I feel like for me, it's less. And I feel like that's a great goal. I mean, that was kind of like one of our goals for 2025 is like have a better relationship with the game. We even said it 2 weeks ago. Play another game. Like Leagues was a slog for some people. And this probably would have happened anyway, even without all the shit that went down with the survey and the membership like proposals. Like we probably would have taken a break. It's okay. So strike's not over. We're still fighting. We're still not giving in to what corporate greed wants us to give into.
It's a tough spot for sure. Because I think the unfortunate reality is that Jagex has done everything they're going to do. Jagex has done everything they're going to do to kind of ease our worries with this. They released a kind of soulless apology from Mod Pips, and I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to get. You know, it was a survey. It's the stuff, as we said, isn't real. It's not coming to the game. And it is a weird spot because I don't know, just where does that leave us, right? Like not playing RuneScape seriously for the last probably week or so. I mean, it's been fine. I don't know. It's such this whole week has felt like I've been describing this last week as like the worst week of the last 30 years. Like what in the world has been happening this past week? It's like TikTok shut down for like 10 minutes during the Lions game. The Lions lost, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we like shifted into a new, significantly worse timeline. And it's felt very like, you know, it's like, do we have time to worry about the RuneScape thing? They're selfish and they're gonna do what they want. kind of regardless of what we want, you know? And I don't think the devs, obviously, as we've said, are in charge of that because we know they're not, right? But it is just something that's been like, at this point, find what you can enjoy and enjoy it, especially if you're in the United States. You know, we're coming up on a very tumultuous period, and I know we got people who are going to be hot and pissed that I bring this kind of stuff up, but there are going to be some interesting and challenging times ahead. And for me, it's almost been more like I kind of want to do things out in public with people. You know, like I don't feel as motivated to play other games. I want to go like I don't know, I want to like start a garden, which is not going to be helpful because it's literally there's probably 6 inches of snow on my balcony right now. So like I know that's not feasible. You know, I just like want to be out in the community doing things. Yeah. It's been an interesting time. I don't know where this aimless rant is going, but I think Jagex has done all they're going to do. They're not going to lower membership prices. They're not going to lower them. And we can hope they don't increase them anytime soon because I think we've kind of expressed that we don't really want that. I think if you're ready to come back to the game, come back. Come hang out. I think it has definitely stunted my motivation, like I said at the top of the episode, to do a lot of things. But that could be, you know, the cause of like there could be many other reasons for that. It might not just be, you know, oh, membership price go up, Oxie mad. You know, could be a lot of things contributing to that. So yeah, we're here, we're hanging out. I'm currently fishing in Camdozel for collection log slots.
Let's go.
So I'm not a bored max main who can't AFK anything while he records. You're a bored max main who can't AFK any of his goals while he records. So yeah, I don't know, dude. It's been a strange time, strange week for sure.
I would agree.
And as far as like I know you mentioned the addiction piece, like it is kind of it's a weird slap in the face to have something like that ripped away. In a sense, you know, like it was more self-imposed than like TikTok, for example.
Yeah.
Because we all just sort of were like, nope, we're done, and just like turn the game off collectively. Like I still haven't renewed my membership on my main. I have like 20 something days left of membership on the main. I'm sure I will, right? I got a show about it. I like the game. I'm literally wearing a RuneScape shirt right now. So like I will renew, I'm sure. Yeah, it's just been it's tough to face that like, oh shit, maybe I am addicted to this game.
Yeah.
Maybe a break is a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, but you know what? We're pushing through together and we're playing other video games and we're going outside and we're getting to know all of our local people. I don't even like talking, not that I don't like my neighbors, I just don't like talking to people in public, period. That said, go become a regular somewhere. Go to the same coffee shop every day. Go to the same bar every week, every other night. Go to the same karaoke spot. Go eat lunch at the same places every day. You know, just go out and meet people. Go do that. Go touch some grass and be social. But yeah.
Are you going to be social?
I have been very social. I'm coaching Saber at my club.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's going pretty well so far. I mean, I give like my first official beginner lesson on Tuesday. So this past Tuesday when this episode comes out, but every Thursday I've been doing an intermediate Saber course. And because the beginner is more like an introduction to fencing. Like, here is what the sport is. Let's learn about it at the most basic level. And then the intermediate is more like the beginner course. Then the advanced is actually an advanced course. Like the advanced course is like, we only have an advanced foil course, and the coach has been doing it for like 20 years. And he's like, he describes it as like, beginner is you learn about the weapon, intermediate, you learn how to do moves in the weapon, and then advanced is you learn tactics. In the advanced class, you learn tactics of how to put all that stuff together. So I am not an advanced Saber coach. I'm going to get my USA fencing coaching certificate probably here soon. Ooh. So I can actually like officially be listed as a coach and all that. And, you know, so that's where we're at. with all that. But it's been busy, you know. I've been really enjoying that. Maybe that's why I've not been as motivated to be RuneScaping. Who knows? Maybe I'm just depressed. I have no idea. But I don't feel depressed. I just don't feel motivated to play RuneScape. It's a strange difference. It's not like when I was mining. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was horrible. It was a horrible time. It's like, I don't know. Just like making shit up. Maybe I just need to spend a day and like pop 2 cups of coffee and a handful of Adderall XRs and see how many raids I can get done with the boys. You know, we'll see.
Postmax is like that anyway. I think you do go through a period of weird feeling.
It's weird. It's like there's no. I'm sure you experience it, and I'm sure we're both gonna say things. The other one's like, I knew you'd get there one day. Because Michael saying, I think Tob is a really fun raid, and if people wanted to do Tob with me, I would absolutely do it. I'm gonna follow that up with like, it's weird not having numbers go up anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like AFKing doesn't have a point. You know,
no point. Well,
like
ranks,
but like I don't care about ranks.
Yeah,
like I spent the last how many years on this show AFKing for something. And now I'm just like mining Baronite rocks to get the Cam Dozel collection log stuff done. So like it's not the same. It doesn't hit in nearly the same way of like, hell yeah, dude, 600k Hunter XP because we recorded for 3.5 hours doing Herbivore. It just doesn't hit the same, you know? I don't know.
And this is, I think, maybe you can see now why I've hopped on the GIM, because it's just like something familiar. But that feeling of like AFKing doesn't have a point. I could do my 200 mil cooking, but at some point I'm like, I'm literally wanting to scratch my eyes out because it's literally just watching fish cook. So boring. And getting to re-experience the mid game has been a lot of fun over the last year and a half. And you like, I don't know. I think without the show and without having something where a lot of my time in the game is AFK time, whether I was working, editing, recording, you know, doing whatever. A lot of the time that I spend in this game is spent AFKing, unless it's in the evening and we're doing content together. So yeah, like not having something to AFK, having a new account to AFK has filled that hole, that filled the void of wanting to play this game. Because without the show, I think I would still be on my main. I would still be grinding and like AFKing less, but like the time that I was logged in would be spent more productive and maybe knocking out collection logs or doing raids or doing clues, like all the stuff that I had really just like planned and was motivated for post max. All of that stuff didn't happen. None of it happened. So yeah, it's a weird feeling. Definitely a weird feeling.
It is a weird feeling. Maybe I just, like I said, maybe I need to raid. I need to see a big drop. I need to make some good money. I need something new. I need to get myself a fancy new upgrade. I need to go make it to Soul for the first time, for the 5th time, for the 10th time. You know, like I need to do things to kind of re-stimulate the motivation. Because like sitting for 20 minutes before you and I hit record going like, what am I gonna AFK is a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
Because like I can't, it's not even like, oh, I can log into the Iron and AFK and whatever, because the Iron still doesn't have membership.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like I guess I'll go do the free to play Cam Dozel shit. I'm in my full melee gear with my scythe. I was beating the shit out of Chaos Golems with a scythe because I'm a rich main and I'm really like that. So I got it super spooned. It was like 34 KC. I got the guard, which is great. But you know, Jack says you can get the satisfaction of helping me get my decks someday. That's been another thing, which is why I think I'm feeling not as motivated to play RuneScape. I don't even feel motivated to do content with other people. Like there are sometimes I'll look and I'll be like, oh, I could raid, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I am depressed. Who knows? I don't actually know. I don't think I am. Not in a defensive way, but like, we'll suss it out. We'll see. Go to therapy. Everybody do that. Stop playing RuneScape and go to therapy. Yeah. Stop playing RuneScape and go to therapy.
I do think seasonal depression is real.
My knee-jerk reaction to you saying therapy is great was therapy is fake.
Oh.
I I was like, I gotta stop making jokes like that. I really gotta stop making jokes like that because not everyone has the same sense of humor that I do, and not everyone understands that I am a licensed clinician. So when I say shit like therapy is fake, it is it's sarcasm. It's not real. Because if it was, I wouldn't have a job. But
Damn, dude, that's deep. That's deep to think about. Anyway,
seasonal
depression.
Sarcasm is
no. We're not going to get.
What
into
about
it.
seasonal depression?
Seasonal depression is real. I know that a lot of people feel it around this time of year when there's less sunlight during the day. It's harder to go out and actually do things because in parts of the country and parts of the world, there's snow on the ground, especially for you. I mean, for me, it's been a whirlwind of like temperatures. Like the last week has been freezing. The week before that was absolutely beautiful. And this coming week is supposed to be nice again. So it's all over the place.
Michael sent me a goodbye message. He was like, "Hey, I just want you to know that you're one of my closest friends. And if I don't make it through these conditions, it's been an honor." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He sent me a picture of a 1/4 inch of snow in his backyard. And he's like, "It's snowing in Texas." I'm like, "Dog." But you guys don't have any of the infrastructure for it. So
you're so judgmental, you Midwesterner. It wasn't even a 1/4 of an inch. It was literally 2 to 3 inches. It was like it was at least 2 inches.
2 to 3 inches.
2 to 3 inches.
I've had that conversation before. I know all about it.
It was a lot. I was able to measure it accurately.
Michael said, "We got 9 inches of snow."
We got 9 entire. No, it was deep, bro. Like it snowed for 3 days, but then it melted literally within 48 hours. So, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What do you do with these Baronite things? Do you smith them on an anvil?
You gotta eat them.
Do you feel the sacred forge with them?
Probably. Sargo also says, imagine not having your water lines not buried below the frost line. And no, they're not. So my faucet in my bathroom has been dripping consistently for the last week. Just dripping, like slow drip. Didn't turn it off because I'm not messing with that. We're not messing with any sort of cracked pipes. And it was in the 20s and like the low 20s overnight for the last week, which is, it's not terribly cold, but it's chilly. I mean, it's chilly.
20s is cold. I'll admit 20s is cold. Like I woke up for work on, it was either Wednesday or Thursday and it was -4.
Ooh, Fahrenheit.
Just like straight up -4, which felt like shit. Yeah. And then it was like just cold throughout the week. But funny enough, I think part of the reason that kind of adds to the like, I don't know if I want to play RuneScape right now. It actually has been sunny the last 2 days. It's sunny right now. Like, and what happens when it gets sunny outside for me is I'm like, ooh, I want to start planning what I'm going to plant in the spring. Because like, I don't know if I told you, I didn't plant shit.
How dare you?
This past, well, like, I don't have a lot of natural light on my balcony. Like, you can't see it right now, but like,
we kind of can. There's a reflection in the TV. Do you see that reflection? I see your little rails.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Well, yeah, you kind of can as a reflection from the TV, but like, I don't get direct sun.
Oh, okay.
For like a majority of the day.
So what do you like, south facing or something?
Dude, my apartment faces north.
Okay.
But so my apartment faces like kind of northeast, but I am like the way I'm like an L-shaped building, but I'm on the long side of the L.
Okay.
So there's a building right here. So when the sun rises in the east, I get this like weird like shadow blocking it, and I get sun from like at the best points in the summer. I get it from like 1:30 to like 4 p.m.
Okay.
So like I do not get a lot of direct sunlight on my balcony, which really, really kind of like it sucks. Because I remember when I was back in the middle of the state, I had that big ass garden. Sure, I sent you pictures of it on my balcony because I got direct sun from like 10 o'clock in the morning to like 9 o'clock at night in the summertime.
Oh wow.
So just trying to like navigate. It's like I've been doing research of like what are plants, particularly vegetables, that grow well in low light, and how do you compensate for lower light things? Do I start things now? Like what can I start doing to plant things? So I'm like I'm sitting on my couch reading books about vegetable gardening in containers. I literally think it's called Container Vegetable Garden is what's sitting on my thing right now, as well as various Michigan state parks because we're trying to plan a couple summer trips.
Ooh.
So I've had my mind in a lot of different places that aren't point and click game, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think it's because the sun's been out. I've been motivated to do a lot of other stuff. This happens to me all the time, though. This isn't like a because Jagex released a strike. It's been
How dare
happening
you,
my
Jagex?
whole
The
life.
sun is out.
Yeah, honestly, the sun is out, Jagex. The disrespect is
How
uncanny.
dare you?
But there's been plenty of times in my life where, like, oh, it's a beautiful day. I feel like I want to have plans. I want to go somewhere. I want to do something. So I'll just be like, video games don't feel satisfying. And I just like, I think I went thrifting yesterday. That's how I ended up.
Okay.
I spent my day.
Man,
Didn't
thrift
find
stores were
anything what
such
I was
a.
looking for.
Ugh, don't get me started on Goodwill.
What about it? Hold on. What thrift stores are you going to that you got a bad taste in your mouth?
Just Goodwill. Any other thrift store's fine. I think.
Why don't you like Goodwill?
Bro, the fact that they're a for-profit company and they take people's donations and then hike up the prices, and the CEO's sitting there with a freaking yacht while all of their employees are like on welfare. It's insane. And they don't
Cringe.
have actually inventory. Like they take other people's stuff and then they hike the price up so that the people that need the goods that they're selling, like who the company is like made for, they're priced out of it because of corporate greed. It all comes back to corporate greed, man.
Oh, it was just you took the words right out of my mouth. It all comes back to corporate greed.
So don't donate to Goodwill. If you have like a local thrift store, a local charity, homeless shelter, women's shelter, whatever, don't give it to Goodwill. They don't need it.
Or just go to some weird ass stores. Like where I live right now, there's the bigger ones that I go to that are pretty solid. Volunteers of America usually has some good stuff. I got there's a leather jacket hanging up behind me that I got there for like $30. And then Habitat for Humanity. I mainly do looking for furniture because like it's so hard to find clothes that fit my big ass at thrift stores. Everyone's like, oh my God, thrift your outfits. I'm like, go ahead, find me something that fits. Because usually it's like finding 2XLT just like out in the wild feels very difficult for things. And like even that jacket right there, it could be a little bit bigger. It could be a little bit longer, but it fits well enough. So I don't really buy clothes. I also don't really need to buy clothes. Like I don't have I'm not in a position where like I can't buy new clothes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like for me, but then it leans into the like, it's probably more sustainable to buy reused clothes. Jack says 2XLT is hard to find in a normal store. Here, brother. Nothing like having like there's the men's section and then there's like the big and tall section. It's just like a tiny little corner of the store and your options are like severely limited in what you can find. But such is life as a big guy who's 5'2".
If you need some cool clothes, Xpwaste.shop. I'm going to plug it right now because 85% of my wardrobe is our merch. Ask my wife. On any day other than like maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week, I'm wearing one of our shirts.
I will say our merch store, which is, I suppose is more attributed to Fourth Wall than it is for us, but like our merch has never given me issues. Our merch has always been long enough. It's always been big enough. You said the hoodies ran small. I don't think they do.
Oh, really?
I think you just got a hoodie that was too small because I got the sheep one. I got it in a 3XLT.
Okay.
I feel like I'm swimming in that bitch.
Yeah.
And like, it's not, I still wear it. It's not terrible, but like it feels a lot bigger than like my OG Xpwaste hoodie that I have worn to shit, by the way. I don't think I've actually worn it in a couple of months because the Xpwaste is like
it's disintegrated, right?
It's disintegrating off, and then the hoodie pockets are coming unstitched on both sides to the point where like I can't even keep shit in there without it falling off. So like the OG Xpwaste hoodie, it's in my car right now as an emergency hoodie. It's seen some better days, but the sheep hoodie's hanging up back there too.
Yeah, I have at least 6 hoodies that I probably shouldn't have just because I wanted to try them. But yeah, I have the 2Xs, and I feel like any bigger than the 2X, you're swimming in it. But I always get them because I inevitably will shrink them accidentally. And if it's a little bit bigger, that's fine with me. But 3x, yeah, I think you'd probably be swimming in it unless you dry
3x feels big for me, but we have some good size
stuff.
ranges of stuff.
Xpwaste.shop. I hope to refresh our designs soon. If I can pull myself away from Red Dead Redemption and hop on the PC one of these days, while I'm still unemployed, I may start to cook up some new designs for spring.
Do Cowboy RuneScape.
Cowboy RuneScape. Okay.
Figure it out. Figure out what Cowboy RuneScape would look like.
I am very motivated. I want to watch Yellowstone. Like, that's how interested I am in this genre right now. It looks like a good show, man. I want to ride a horse IRL. Weird.
I'm very thankful that I have heard like beforehand that like Arcane is nothing like League of Legends. And I'm so because I'm not motivated to play League of Legends one bit.
Okay.
I have no interest in playing that game. I do not give a shit. I have heard it is nothing but bad vibes. And I'm sure people like everyone I've heard who even likes it is like, hey, if you want to remove viruses from your computer, right click League of Legends and go to properties and hit uninstall. Then you won't have the virus of League of Legends on your computer. And like, yeah, even Fear says don't. Like people are typing in the recording booth chat, like don't play it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in playing it. Familial stories and watching the trials and tribulations of people who are doomed by the narrative, that's what I want. I don't know if I want to play League of Legends. I just want to have that level of emotional response. But yeah, I had a thought and then I lost it. Oh, yeah, thrift stores.
Yeah.
Buy furniture from thrift stores, y'all. Like buying, yeah, Michael, when's the last time you bought a piece of new furniture? I don't mean like what, have you bought a piece of new furniture?
Yeah, we
recently?
got a new table off Facebook Marketplace.
That's not a new table. That's new to you. That's
new,
okay.
Like a brand new?
Yeah.
Oh, we got my son like a beanbag chair for Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of.
I don't know if I would get a used beanbag chair, but like
trying to think.
My sister kind of got me into it. I've been really into buying like basically like reused furniture. Like if we take a peek, let me see here. If we take a peek around my apartment, let me see. The TV stand, the chair, the lamp, the coffee table, that shelf that has the lion's helmet on it, the couch, the other lamp, the coffee table on the other side of the couch that you can't see.
Look at all that snow, bro.
And then the kitchen table the kitchen table and chairs. And then that thing that's right by the door.
Yeah.
All that is just like shit we have found at like Habitat for Humanity or there's a place where I live that is this gigantic kind of janky warehouse that sells shit. There's a lovely furniture resale shop in my hometown that we go to all the time. And we're like always finding pieces. And like my sister has found me stuff from like estate sales and things like that. Like I think everything on this desk, like the PC, all that, the tiny little table in my kitchen, my TV, and my cat tree, and then the shelf that's behind me are like the only new things I have bought for this apartment. Not for this apartment, but like they're new in the sense of like purchased them. New wood just feels flimsy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm crazy, but like new wood never feels like wood. It's all that like pressboard shit. And like it never feels like I recently had to buy a shoe organizer or something. I bought like a 3-panel thing to keep in my bedroom in my closet because I got a new dresser, took my dresser from home and sent the dresser I had back to my childhood home, did a dresser swap. So like I got one of those and it's just, I literally was like nailing paper to the back of it as like a back. I'm like, this is the biggest piece of junk. Like I don't have to put any weight on this, so like, it doesn't matter. But like, man, what in the world? So buy reused furniture if you can. I've never been a big Facebook Marketplace guy, but
I don't know. It's sometimes you find good stuff. I wish Facebook Marketplace wasn't on Facebook, but
I've never really done it pure. Like even before we were like, hey, Meta, I've never really just been a go online and find shit anyway. I like to look at it, you know. I don't want to have to take that extra step of like planning a date to come out and see it, if that makes sense. You know?
Yeah. The last thing that we bought new, well, like almost, I'm mentally going through my house, and I would say a good like 90% of everything that we own is secondhand in the sense that we didn't buy it brand new. I think like the side tables in our bedroom are brand new from Amazon. And my son's bed that we got him back a year ago was brand new, but it was like a kid bed. It was like a Lightning McQueen kid bed. And then we have like a dresser that my wife and I got in 2019 from like a rooms to go type thing. But pretty much everything else has been secondhand. Like the shelf that's right behind me, this little guy, I found those on the side of like during trash day, like on the side of the road. And I just picked them up.
Hard to beat that. Hard to beat that.
Yeah. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. To add to Oxie's thing, like if you can get something secondhand and then take the time to restore it or clean it up, give it some oil, give it some stain, that's a fun thing to do. I think having a DIY project to work on, even if you're not good at it, just get your hands dirty. Like the table's a little scuffed, maybe sand it up and restain it. It's going to make it yours, essentially. So,
yeah,
but don't get it from
wrong with doing new hobbies. I also heard Salvation Army isn't great,
which is surprising because I have heard they're good, but it would make sense that like in this day and age, they may have strayed from their roots.
See, I've heard the opposite. Like I've only recently started to hear that Goodwill is shit. But ever since I was like in undergrad, people were like, oh God, Salvation Army, don't go to them. And I'm like, who cares? And then nobody ever gave me an answer.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, and just didn't go anyways.
Yeah.
So
bro, we've been talking about nothing but like we've not talked about RuneScape at all. Did you want to go over this blog real quick?
Well, okay, that's the thing. This is the most uninteresting blog of the week.
We've been avoiding
it. The conversation we've had has been so much more. Michael texted me this morning while I was at the gym, which I think I hurt my shoulder at today.
Oh no!
And I'm really annoyed about it because I don't want to deal with that. I was literally just in the middle of my sets and felt like a not sore pain, like a something isn't right pain. And I went, ooh, that sucks. And then I did it one more time and I went, ooh, that sucks. And I'm like, one more time. And I did it again and it hurt again. And then I went to a different thing and did a different workout. And then I did it with my right arm. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I did it with my left arm. And I'm like, nope, that sucks. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh no.
So I finished that set. And then I just went home early because I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that. So we'll go back tomorrow after work and we'll see how it's feeling. But
yeah, we're definitely avoiding the topic. I texted Oxie this morning. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's why I talked about the gym, because you texted me while I was at the gym and I was doing one of my first workouts and I was like, I heard it in my AirPod. It's like, Michael said, why don't we talk about the news post? And I think I like whispered out loud. I'm like, why don't we talk about literally anything else?
That's funny. It's funny. I should call you then. I feel like calling you would get your authentic reaction. Hey, Oxie, good morning.
Well, like I was already at Planet Fitness, so I think I sang like my knee jerk thought was like uninteresting blog equals uninteresting podcast. We can't do that. So
I think that the things that they have, like the two QOL things that they highlight in this blog, they are very interesting, but it's not an entire episode's worth of content for sure.
Like I forgot about the inventory locking until I saw a video of Messiah doing it this morning on TikTok, I think. And then the max cape features are better now, which like, yeah, I guess it's a little bit more convenient, like having all the drop down menus. But like we already had that with Rune.
With RuneLite,
we just put that in the game, and like, admittedly, the one in game works a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I don't know, 10 out of 10 QOL update. 0 out of like that's it. That's the blog.
10 out of
That's
10.
the whole shit that they've changed this week. So, you know.
I am excited to use those features when the time comes because the inventory locking, that's going to be huge. To like not even just because before the method that you would do is like you would fill your bank with slots and placeholder slots or whatever they're called. Just fill it up and then you keep everything in your inventory. But now you can just lock the slot and not have to worry about that.
You know what that would have been great for? ZMI rune
Everything.
crafting. But you want to talk about doomed by the narrative? My whole account progression was doomed by the narrative to finish the skill before a major QOL update.
Yeah.
So I feel like had they done that like 3 months sooner, or had I just not maxed until today, that would have been really bitching for ZMI rune crafting to lock your inventory.
Yeah. But I'm excited to do it on the GIM, and now you get to experience all the cool stuff that you didn't get to experience on your GIM one day. Or maybe if you make a pure or an ultimate Iron Man or another main. Because like I could see you making a bronze man mode and really getting into that as a fresh account. I think if there was an account that you yourself could really grind out, if the maxing grind really does, like if the post max is just a slog, make a bronze man. But there's also that if you get, a year deep into bronze man and then Jagex makes an official bronze man, that's going to feel pretty shitty too. Because they have hinted at that.
Maybe they'll let you convert your account over.
Oh, it'd be cool.
Who knows? I don't know what they would do. And I've always thought the idea of bronze man mode is interesting. And I've said it once on this show. I'll say it for a million other times because I know I've talked about it on the show a lot. The idea of Iron Man mode isn't not interesting to me. The idea of getting your own gear and going out and doing the things yourself are not interesting. Ask Michael. Literally every other video game I play like a RuneScape Iron Man.
It really does.
I think it is just something about the arduously long grind of trying to get resources necessary to play the game. I think it's almost like, I feel like with Iron Man for me at some point, you know how like if you play a mobile game that you really, really, really like for a while, and then suddenly it just gets really hard to play without spending money?
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at with like balloons right now, for example. Like I'm playing balloons, TD6, and I'm running into a point where like I need more monkey knowledge points because I want to upgrade stuff on my little like tech trees. But it takes like several things, games. It's like hundreds of thousands of balloons in order to unlock more monkey knowledge points through leveling up. Or I could just get a lot of them if I spent some money.
Yeah, pay to win.
If I spent like $15, I could get like 30 points or something. And wow, that'd be really good. Because I've got a shitload of monkey money laying around like I could, but I don't want to spend real money. And I feel like Iron Man turns into that at some point. Like that's why I like League so much in that sense, like particularly for something like herb lore or cooking, right? Like I don't need to spend 8 hours gathering supplies for 2 hours of fun. Like that ratio doesn't sit right with me. It never really has. So for me, like, I don't know. I wish Iron Man was easier to upkeep, and I understand what I am saying and why that makes me sound like a bitch. I don't care. I wish Iron Man was easier to upkeep, because if it was, the idea of getting all that stuff by myself, sure, man, I got you. I'm totally here for it. That sounds great. I would love to go get my own gear and feel that rush of getting stuff for the first time. That sounds fantastic to me. I don't, however, want to kill Giant Mole 2,000 times to get the bruise, to get Torva armor. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to. So, I don't know. Maybe Bronze Man mode one day so I can just have infinite supplies and then grind for the shit that I care about. Which is why I always said, like, like bronze man mode on the account that I have now could be fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
like
you just
on
clear your
my
bank.
maxed main, clear my bank. I know how to make money with when you have nothing, like make money, buy potions, because like you don't need a lot of potions, right? To do some tasks. And then obviously I like can buy them, so it doesn't matter. You know, you start like you start where every main starts their rebuild, a good old corrupted gauntlet. You make a good amount, like, oh, there's so many good things that could happen. But you know, it's not as bad as you think. The game keeps getting easier. So by the time for ready you're next, there will be an easier source of brews. I'm sure there will be, but none of it is automatic, I guess. Like this is where I kind of get thrown off with RuneScape Iron Man. It's like talk about a game like, I don't know, we'll use an old favorite, Ark or something like that, or Stardew, whatever it is. Any game where you have to be self-sufficient for resources, there is always something to improve how you get those resources because you need thousands of them, but it's always automatic, right? There's nothing automatic in RuneScape. There is no automatic potion creator that creates 20 brews every 5 ticks. You know, like there's nothing like that. You get base resources a lot more. Like you get a lot more. What do you get from Vedion? Mortmire fungus and Raynars?
Snaps, I think.
Whatever it is, like yeah, you get more from Vedion than you get from an herb run for sure. But you still have to take all the time to make that shit. And then you still have to take the time to get all of the secondaries. Like it's stuff like that that just kind of blows my mind a little bit, you know, with Iron Man. And like I don't know. I feel like there is in another universe, I started as an Iron Man because it sounded more appealing to me because I knew myself and I knew that's the kind of game mode I like. And I'm currently playing on a maxed Iron Man. And I'm doing things on my maxed Iron Man while I'm working on my 2100 total group Iron Man, you know. And in another universe, I've never played Mainscape. But in this one, it's going to be hard to convince me to full-time convert to Iron Man, despite the premise of the game mode being interesting, you know?
I feel you. I think with GIM specifically, it is a little bit easier because you have us to rely on for the things that you don't want to do, and vice versa. If there's something you are good at, it's almost like a mini economy of, hey man, if you just like get me the bird's nests, I have toad flax, I'll make you brews. So there's like a trade-off that could develop. I know that recently Ralph has just been dumping amylase, and he's like, hey, if anybody wants to make me staminas, here's the amylase. So there's a mini economy that can occur within a GIM team, but it also, everybody has to be active and participating for that to work. So it could happen where that grind for you just becomes less arduous over time as more of us get to that end game point where it definitely is. I don't know if I'm using the term correctly, but I feel like it's a bell curve of it's harder to get supplies in the beginning. It's easy to upkeep in the beginning because you don't really need them. And then in the mid game, you feel like you need them. So it's way harder to feel like you're getting ahead. But then at some point, you start getting into raids, you start doing Slayer, you start doing your herb runs for 99 farming. And then you just have more potions than you know what to do with. I've seen that a lot with a lot of endgame irons is like, man, I have like 4,000 brews sitting in the bank because I had to get 99 herb lore somehow. And 6 months of herb runs will do that for you. So yes, there is that whole dilemma of, yeah, you got to make them all, but it's also part of the skill, part of the game mode, part of playing the game.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get to the end game and maxing is a goal, it's gonna be something you do to get 99 herb lore, or even if you just want the diary cape. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different routes to go down where supplies don't really matter when it comes to after you've hit that bell curve of this sucks.
What's her? Like I finally hit 78 herb lore on the GIM, and that's a big milestone because I don't need to get so maliciously hard carried through raids now. It's like I make my own brews and restores and prayer enhances and shit, and I just gotta steal and overload.
Yeah.
And then we're good to go.
Speaking of raids, like if you don't want to do your herb runs, just do a bunch of chambers. I haven't done an herb run in a long time. And chambers is amazing.
No. I don't know, man. And like I said,
in another universe. In another
universe, but in this one, I'm mining fucking baronite deposits to get I already got the baronite guard, or not the guard, the hammer.
Okay.
I got the hammer, which is rarer than the head. And I got a ancient treatise. How do you pronounce that word? Treatise pronunciation. Treatise is apparently how you pronounce it. Ancient treatise. I got one of those. So I need the astroscope, the carcinet, which I don't know if I'm saying correctly, the globe, and the ledger, and then I also need the head. So might as well get a second hammer for the dual wield. Yeah, dude, we have Torag's hammers at home.
Smithing is going to be fun with the dual wield hammers for sure.
Smithing doesn't matter. I have 13,037,800.
Well, dog, I'm talking about
smithing.
Me.
Does not matter.
Not everything's about you.
I thought you were referencing me because I got
the dual wield hammer. Yeah, actually, you're right. You're right. I apologize. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we go to break?
I don't know. I don't really know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we go to break?
I've been playing some D&D. I got into a new group that we've done more sessions than I've ever done in my entire life consistently. Like
because who's your DM? I think I know who your DM is.
Matt.
Yep, I was gonna say you got one of the best DMs in these parts.
He's so good, dude. He's so good. In one of our last sessions last week, we killed 2 Tazars because we're in the world of Gillinor, but it's like post-apocalyptic where something happened and now everything's underwater. So every mountain top that used to be the highest point have now turned into islands. And so we're in a world with like ships and pirates and sea monsters, and it's been a lot of fun. So I think we were on Karamja for that last one, somewhere near Karamja, and we fought Tazars, and it was cool to it was cool to know exactly what this monster was, because as soon as he started describing, I'm like, oh, that's a Tazar, without him even saying it. Because like in game, our characters didn't know what they were, but out of game, I'm like, that's a Tazar, and this is awesome, because he started referencing like the disc that it was holding. And it was like glowing red, and it looked like molten lava, but it was a rock and had 5 arms and whatever. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. So I've been playing a lot of D&D, and that's been fun. So if you're looking for something to do and you like adventure games, maybe try and find a D&D group.
Yeah. So this is a message for the people in my D&D group. We got to get our shit together and get back to D&D. Yeah. That's fun. My DM is trying to push me into making my Theater of Blood one shot.
Ooh.
But I don't know how to DM, and that it's going to take a lot more. It's one of those like, yeah, this would be a good idea, and I understand a couple of mechanics that could be fun. And then the more I think about it, and the more I play D&D, I'm like, holy shit! Like, what happens if you have a bard who's also a rules lawyer in Theater of Blood? Like, what happens? You know, that's like, how do you put that level of like magic and charisma and understanding against Verzik? You know, like the one thing that comes to mind is like I saw something somewhere that was like, if you roll a natural 20 to seduce the dragon, it doesn't mean you fuck the dragon. When you get a natural 20, it means the dragon doesn't eat you alive for your advances. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, I think if someone tries to seduce Verzik and they roll very high, they'll roll high enough to not get torn in half for insulting her in her theater.
Yeah.
I think that's the route I would take with that. But it's like other things I just want to like figure out, you know, about DMing and about the game before I'm comfortable making 6 back-to-back combat encounters that pretty much just break the rules of D&D. It's like how I'm thinking of doing it would be like, after every room, just like in the actual Theater of Blood, all of your health and spell slots and short and long rest abilities are just reset.
Ooh.
So like the minute Maiden dies, everything is reset. So you don't need to like, because there's no way you make it through Theater of Blood
Right.
parceling out fucking level 2 spell slots the entire
Right,
time. Right. Like I'm trying to think like between the realm of maybe like player level 10 and 12, maybe.
That'd be
Like
awesome.
maybe because I feel like anything higher, you might get into the territory of like either the players think it's too easy or it's so like
It would feel like
maliciously
entry
difficult.
mode if it was any lower level.
Well, the counter is I could always just make the bosses really miserable to fight. But
Yeah.
again, I need to learn more about like I need to get a monster manual. I need to get a player's handbook. I need to get like the the actual like dungeon master's guide. Like I need to do more research and like how to adapt. Because the Theater of Blood part, I understand very well. And I understand how RuneScape's combat system mimics D&D very well, right? But there's going to be a lot of creative rule bending of like, this is considered like a typeless damage, which means instead of rolling to attack, it's going to hit you no matter what. Like the green ball at Verzik.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm going to roll a d20, and if it lands in whatever quadrant or whatever group of 5, whatever it is, that's who's getting targeted by the green ball.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's going to have to be a lot of like keep your mind open rule bending to go along with it, which is why I feel like I would have to play this with other RuneScape players. Because I feel like if I just got like 4 people who only played D&D and then threw them into the Theater of Blood, none of them would know to do the perception check on the skeleton outside of Zarpus.
Right.
And none of them would pick up the staff going into Verzik. So it's like, it's shit like that, And then I've also like thought of rewards and how to give cool rewards after Tob too. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I've been thinking about with that, but I've been nudged a couple of times in my Instagram DMs by Arionyx to start that, but we'll see. Maybe someday. We're not going to film it or record it, so if I do ever do it, you guys will just have to hear about it on the show. But until then,
what'd be really cool is if you made it more than a one shot and you kind of took people through the vampire storylines as a campaign in the final ultimate ending to all of this is finally getting to Verzik.
Is Lord of Vampirium, please check it. God damn it, Jagex, please. We should have Lord of Vampirium. It's been 5 years.
Well, you could even you could even just like adapt Night at the Theater as like a long-ish campaign, and then the end of that, like maybe like a 5 to 7 session thing where you maybe do start out at level 3, but then by the time you're ready to get into the theater, you guys have found magic items, you've found all the supplies you need, you've gotten your gear, your levels, and that's it. And then at the end, maybe they get like scythes or sayings for the magic wielders or something.
Of the campaign stories, whatever you want to call them, that I've been thinking of, what I'm almost thinking is it's like an end of session long rest event. Like you wake up in the middle of a long rest because there's something rustling in the bushes, and it's this like really kind of like decrepit looking hood over your head type shit vampire. And as everyone freaks out, the vampire's like, don't shoot the messenger, and has a letter. And you have one of your characters read the letter. That's this very formal and cordial invitation, almost like if you're going to like a ball or a fundraiser. You get this brilliant invitation about how like, I've been watching you from afar. You guys are just the absolute perfect candidates. I would love for you to come see my brand new show. You need to come out here. With much admiration and expectation, signed Lady V, or signed VV, something like that. And then, do you guys want to get on the boat with this vampire? Sure. And you get on the boat, and that's the end of session. And you come back the next week at the Theater of Blood.
Okay.
So that would be, it's like, yes, it could be one-shot material, but I think there's also ways it could be worked into a campaign. And I think working it into a campaign would be far more interesting, because then I think the rewards could be a lot more meaningful. The rewards could be a lot more personalized.
Yeah.
But again, this is where the question of like, does this work in D&D? Like, does that does the idea of a rapier that does bleed damage, does the idea of a magic staff that can cast almost like an eldritch blast type attack with a small chance to heal you, combined with like a level 6 like spell slot use where you like actually charge up, because what I was thinking is like every point of damage you take can charge into this attack, and then you heal 20% of whatever you hit with that. So like it's a very big like battle mage sanguinesci staff.
Yeah.
Does it work if you were to get a pet? Does a follower who technically can never die, and if it dies in combat will always respawn at camp the next night, does that also offers like it just like kind of like, remember the brain from Baldur's Gate 3, like those little brains just have like the little bite attack?
Yeah.
Like, does a Nilo pet with a bite attack that can never die and then also gives you +1 AC depending on if your character needs that, right? Is that too game breaking for D&D? Because like I know what all the shit in RuneScape does, but how do you put it? That's the thing, you know. Captain Crash says, I DM a campaign with people who don't know RuneScape, and it's awesome. I run them through real quests. Like right now you're doing Dragon Slayer 1. That's hype as shit.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
sure they're having a blast with Melzar's Maze.
Oh,
that sounds great.
Here's what I would encourage you to do is, this sounds like an amazing thing. And this is why I'm saying this, because literally all it's going to take is just jumping in, getting your feet wet, starting at like a level 1 campaign and working your way up to what you want to do. So if you run all of the guys that you're playing D&D with right now, say it's your turn to DM, you guys all start in Lumbridge at level 1, and like your first quest is to handle the goblins that have overtaken this farmer's field. That's your level 1 quest. That's your first thing you guys do. And then you work your way through like maybe a couple of the free-to-play quests, but add some flavor because all of them play RuneScape.
I've had some delightful ideas that unintentionally, if I think about them too hard, are based off of some RuneScape quests. But I don't want to talk to you about them because it could be spoilery, and nobody wants that.
Right.
Nobody wants story spoilers.
No.
So,
but here's what I'm saying.
You know,
at the end of the day, just do it. Just get your feet wet.
Just gotta send it.
Just send it. Like, don't get too caught up in the details of I need this. I need to do this. Blah, blah, blah. Like, why? Like, watch a YouTube video, DMing for dummies or something, and just get a session under your belt. It'll give you so much confidence that I think you, as a storyteller, will carry yourself through the mechanics, because you've played enough Baldur's Gate, you've played enough D&D. You can understand the mechanics of like, how does this encounter work? How do I roll initiative? What are my monsters going to do? You're going to hate to hear this, but like ChatGPT is an amazing resource for DMs when it comes to literally just the mundane of like, I need character names. I need a setting. Like the stuff that you don't want to have to sit down.
I'm old school, damn it. I'm using fantasy name generator like a real man.
Oh my gosh. So just do it, and I will be there to cheer you on. If you want me to play, I will play. If you need help as a consultant, I would be happy to do that. But however you want to do this,
my DM consulting team.
Yeah, like I'll help you. I'll help you write, and I'll help you figure out encounters, and we can do it together. But you would be the main DM, and like, to have the satisfaction of getting your group through nail-biting sessions, leveling up together, and then ultimately killing Verzik, that would be such a fun thing. You probably remember that for the rest of your life.
Be pretty hype.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty hype.
Imagine like Cook's Assistant as your first real test, and it's literally just like, hey guys, there's some chickens that really don't want you to take their eggs. Roll initiative. You know?
Captain Crash literally said they had to fight goblins to get
There you
weak because
go.
Cook's
See?
assistant was their first one.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it could work. It'll work for sure. Someday, I'm sure. I wish the world were smaller and we all lived in the same town and we could do it in person.
In person would be so fun, dude.
But
we should try for RuneFest to just sit down one of the evenings where we're not actually at RuneFest and like play a one shot together. Like everybody bring a dice set.
I feel like we're not gonna have time. Like I feel like for RuneFest, we're getting way off topic with this one. I feel like for RuneFest, because how you and I are doing it, we're getting in to London at like 5:30 in the morning. Like we touch down early as shit on Friday morning, and then we probably won't be able to check into our Airbnb until later in the afternoon. So time for you to really prepare yourself for what traveling Oxie is going to be like, where we're just running and going, and you fight. Your only reprieve is going to be fish and chips in downtown London before I rush your ass over to the train station. The trains are going to be hopefully fine though. Do you like natural history or like art history? Do you like just like regular history?
I like architecture.
Yeah.
I like
architecture.
I like anthropologic history. So I guess natural history.
Maybe Well,
that's not natural history.
Anthropology and natural history are not quite the same thing. I mean, yeah, maybe I could, because my first thoughts, I'm like British Museum and Natural History. That shit bangs.
That would be cool.
I love it there. I think I gave. I think Fear was talking to me about that when he went with like Jesse and Immortal and all of them for the original RuneFest dates. And they're like, Fear's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm telling you, Natural History Museum. Do not sleep on the Natural History Museum. And he sent me pictures of the boys at the Natural History Museum. And he's like, you are 10 out of 10 correct. This shit was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
But if you like anthropology, the Great British Museum has some cool stuff. It's a collection of everything England's ever stolen.
Oh gosh. That's gonna make me sad.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, they've got some neat stuff in there. But like, take you around, see some sights, get yourself an Oyster card. Say you rode the tube for a bit.
Nice.
There's lots of things we can do. But the issue is we are going to have bags, so just trying to figure out how we'll navigate that going forward. But like RuneFest, you figure Friday night we're going to be tired as shit.
Oh yeah.
Friday night is going to be you and I, like Harry and Dumbledore, trying to force each other, to drink the water. Like you have to keep drinking, like you said, to just stay awake on Friday night. And then we're probably going to crash out earlier than we want to. And then Saturday, Sunday is the convention all day.
Oh, true.
And then we got an all day convention, maybe find something to eat and then just like see who's around to do shit. I don't know. I saw Messiah posted something on Twitter a while ago that was like, hey, anyone want to do like a RuneScape after party?
Ooh.
But it was like, because it turns out he's a musician, which I did not know.
That's legit.
And he like DJs sets and shit. So I don't know. Maybe he'll plan something. We have no idea. Or I don't know if it'll be public or private or what. But I'm sure like at the very least, we'll just like hang out with people at a bar like we've said for months what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, maybe no D&D then. Maybe for Xpwaste West.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. But I mean, you know what? We'll see.
I am excited because the whole reason I brought this up is because it's been a more consistent thing in my life, and like that's every D&D player's dream is a semi-consistent group, and we've gone almost every week, if not every other week, since the beginning of the year, which has been great. Very, very happy. Even if it's just for like 2 hours. Brother. Like we played last night from I think 10 to midnight my time. And I had to like hard stop after what could have been a really cool encounter that had just started. I'm like, guys, it's midnight and I gotta be up butt crack of dawn. So but anyway, D&D is great. Play some D&D, everyone. Break time.
Hell yeah. I think it's break time. I think this is an appropriate spot to send people off to a break. This has not been the episode we planned. And let me tell you, that's a good thing. The original plan was going to be way more boring. So I'm glad we kind of got off this, like, like we've said, this in another universe track of what we're doing. You know, whether it's for DMs or for RuneScape or for doing shit IRL. You know what, man? We'll see in another universe. But in this universe, we're going to break. Please enjoy this. I almost said expired commercial. Please enjoy this reused, retired, whatever you want to call it, commercial. See you soon.
What's up, Scapers? Are you guys ready for the greatest edition of the Grand Exchange since the Grand Exchange? You better be, cause it's time to join a clan, baby! That's right, come on down to the Grand Exchange and start your own clan with your friends!
Oh, sorry, I'm already in a friends chat.
Oh, I'm already in a friends chat. Yeah? Does your friends chat have a formal rank structure? What about these sick-ass icons? And what about the clan hall? That's right, you heard me. Join a clan and get a free community mansion with a full unpaid staff. Wait a minute, we're not getting paid. Sign up today and I'll even throw in a free banner so you can hoist your colors. Use it to beat the shit out of some goblins so they'll know who sent you. Join a clan today, baby! Woo!
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. Michael decided to go live a whole nother life during the break, and the recording booth and I sat and talked about college sports the entire time. It was actually great. And by talked about, I mean I spoke at them and they responded through text on occasion because that's the joys of the recording booth. But we landed on the one thing we know to be true, and it's that we all hate Ohio State, except for Michael. But that's neither here nor there. It's Patreon time, folks. We're talking about patrons. We have 2 brand new patrons this week. 2 brand new wise old men. They're on the screen right now. Go give them a look. Go give them some appreciation. And please enjoy the special shout out to GFDI and 2-2-Fly. Names that not only rhyme, but were done at almost the same time. You see how it works like that?
Lin-Manuel Miranda over here.
Well, yeah, pretty, yeah. As a matter of fact, my name is Alexander Hamilton. 2-2-Fly was actually one of my bingo teammates. So they both joined the Wise Old Man today, literally within like probably half an hour of each other. And I know 2-2-Fly is hanging out here in the recording booth chat at the moment. Yeah, GFDI. Make sure you guys connect your stuff to Discord so you guys can come hang out with us on the recording booth chat, and we will notify you every week when we go live so you guys don't miss it.
Around the same time, we do a better job of.
Yeah, we try to go live at about 1 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday. So if you want to come hang out in the recording booth chat and talk about whatever while Michael decides to go gallivant around a different country during the break or whatever he did. But now it's time to shout out the other patrons that we shout out by name more regularly, as a matter of fact. So it's about time we did done shout out the KBD tier. Kicking us off with the King Black Dragon tier, we have our friends Boston, Broke 70. Is it Brooks or Brooks? I don't remember.
Brooks. Got to put a little
Brooks, that's what I
there.
thought.
Brooks
70. I knew I pronounced that incorrectly. My dad. Hi, Dad. He doesn't like Ohio State either. Cloud Kicker, Dickie Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, Jax Tob Era GIM, JX Riot, Kyrandia, Lil Drakey, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Metal 15, Rylithian, Sparky Life, The Big G Jordy, and Warbatronic. Thank you all so much for your unwavering support at the King Black Dragon tier. Y'all are cool as hell. That just full stop. Y'all are just cool as hell, Moving on over to the Jad tier. These are the people that support us at our newest tier at the highest value. And you guys should be getting your shirts here soon.
There's a couple people that have been consecutively for 3 months. So it's once you hit your 3rd month, they send it out. So if you have received it, let us know. Send us a picture. See what.
Yeah, send us a picture. Please send us a picture. Because we'd love to see how it turned out in person. Because there were 2 different models of designs that Michael and I talked about. Not different designs, but like different sizes. And it was like I think the first design, it's like, I think this is too small. And then we went to the other design and it was like comically gigantic, or it was the other way around, or it was like comically tiny. It was something like that where it's like, we'll see how this first one goes because Patreon's kind of picky. It's not like Fourth Wall where you can customize it as much. So let us know if you guys have your shirts, Jad Tier folks. But speaking of Jad Tier folks who need to be read out loud, we have Basic Pickle, Captain Crash into Trump's tariffs, parentheses, help. We're gonna need the help, brother, let me tell you. Chaos Cleric, Legend Gary, Michael's not so secret lover, still secret enough he doesn't know who he is. He hasn't checked Patreon either. Mithril Fork, Petite River, Rack Roll, Satan's back, baby. Oh, I'm coming for that booty, Oxie 666. It's in all caps.
Oh, damn.
So
okay.
I had to give it the proper respect it deserves. And then finally, the S tier deviled egg. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon at the absolute highest, most generous tier you possibly can. I hope you guys like the shirts, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing it for, is the shirts. And I hope they turn out, I hope they're good quality. If they're not, let us know. We will find an alternative. If they're like falling apart, if the screen printing sucks, let us know. We will find an alternative and we'll figure something out for you guys. Because we want to be able to give you the best product we can for supporting us at the level that you do every single time. So that's all I have to say about that. If you would like to support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, shout out to the gnome children, head over to patreon.com/xpwaste, and you guys can have the unending pleasure of supporting us financially. I don't know what distracted me and cut off that train of thought, but it did. It got cut off. We do live streams. We have the recording booth chat. You get your name read out loud. You get a shirt, or you can just be a part of the Gnome Child tier and have a neat little thing in Discord. Come join our Patreon. We'll plug the Discord here in a little bit, but I think it's time that I pull the pin in this second segment of talking and I yeet it over to Michael.
Okay.
Michael,
Hello.
my friend. No, we save that for later. I lied. The grenade's in your corner now.
Okay. So normally this is the community question, but it was 2 weeks ago, and we didn't ask you a question during the would you call it a podcast episode with the nanny? I don't even know. During whatever
During
happened,
the Let's Play.
Yeah, the Let's Play with the nanny. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to go watch that over on preferably YouTube, because it is a hoot. But normally this is where we would read out the community question answers. We're not going to do that this week, but we are going to ask you a question. Oxie came up with an amazing question during the break, and I, for one, love it. So this week's question will be, what would you be doing in an alternate universe? So earlier, Oxie talked about the fact that he would be playing an Iron Man, and he would have maxed an iron instead of his main. And like, in another world, Oxie was an iron. What would you be doing? Is it the same? Is it different? What are the tweaks? Let us know in the community question. You can answer that on the comment section on Spotify or under the pinned comment of this YouTube video.
In every universe, Charlie still has the worst clue steps.
Does he though?
In every universe, TOA is still stinky.
I don't think every single universe can, but maybe yours do.
I've been to them all, and let me tell you,
your timelines just suck.
Charlie Stamp stinky.
What if in an actual like universe, Charlie is an endgame PVMer? Like, what if he suddenly escaped homelessness and he became the guy that you go to as like an achievement diary master or a slayer? What if Charlie is the slayer master in one of the alternate universes? It's possible. And maybe he still occasionally randomly will say, you know what, I would give you a task, but do you have a trout?
You would go to that slayer master, and that stupid ginger fuck would go, I need 493 fever spiders killed by you. I need 8,900 tar monsters on Fossil Island killed by you. I need you to take a bajillion points of damage from rats in the Varrock sewers cooked by you. That I hate him and his steps. I am in every universe. He gives the worst steps. So even when he is a Slayer Master, I'm sure his task list sucks too.
Probably. Well, I'm going to toss this somewhat docile grenade and let it explode into a fever of greatness over in the achievables of the weekables with my friend Oxie.
Well, nothing like throwing a frag grenade in Call of Duty only for some mega sweat to throw it right back in your direction. Then you get like the "we'll be right back" screen. That's kind of what it feels like right now. But it is time for Achievement of the Week. This is a big one. We've been 2 weeks out and we've got some really cool achievements to shout out. So, kicking us off in the skilling category this week, always the biggest category. We're starting with it. We have Remac, who achieved 99 defense on his hardcore Iron Man. Iron Panda 87 achieved 99 fishing. Shinkiro, cruising to max, achieved 99 herblore. White Light West achieved 99 cooking in the Corrupted Gauntlet. Ninja Crumpet achieved 99 crafting. Soren achieved 99 strength. Big Thickums, aka Lack, Sack, something, achieved 99 slayer. For Vitney on, as he always says, Road to Max 2 Electric Boogaloo, achieved 99 fishing and 99 cooking. Chemical achieved 99 rune crafting. Apex Wolf 91, who didn't actually realize there were numbers after his name. I've just been calling him Apex Wolf for years in my head. Apex Wolf achieved 99 range. Fumble Swing achieved 99 construction. Our newest wise old man and my most recent bingo teammate, 2 to Fly, achieved 99 mage, range, hit points, and cooking. 4 in a row, the most of the week. Buckets achieved 99 prayer. Corpse Duster achieved 99 strength and 99 range. KT Express achieved 99 Slayer and then 99 Magic, which is pretty interesting. 1 GP Richer achieved 99 Woodcutting. And Ice Bear NF achieved 99 defense. As far as total level milestones are concerned, shouting out the 2K total level. Mustard Frog achieved 2K total level. I know there were some other people who hit 2100 total level, but for some reason I didn't write any of them down. I think Jack was one of them. Jack hit 2100, and then another guy whose name was also Jack, I think, hit 2100. Funny enough. But then finally in the skilling category this week, Left GF for XP has acquired another 200 mil, another Infinity Stone for the Gauntlet. Left GF for XP has achieved 200 million Hunter XP. He is locked in. Let's look him up. What rank is he? Left GF for XP. It now sits at rank 310 Hunter, and he will sit there forever. That is his 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe?
Damn.
9th? It's his 9th 200 mil, I believe. He's currently ranked 275 overall. And we're proud to call him one of our clan members. You know, he's one of our boys. But that's the skilling category. Moving on over to the miscellaneous category. I feel like we have one big achievement in each section this week, which is super cool. In the miscellaneous category, we have 5 quest capes. We have Fricassee. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Broad or Burad, depending on how you pronounce the name, with the space in the middle. Rare, pretty cool name. Alpha Hotel Quebec. And for Vitney with the double-double this week. Got the quest cape on the Iron Man. As far as some other achievements are concerned, Bass Mike Jr. and Blastoise level 99 both achieved their diary capes this week. Plasmatron achieved his music cape this week. I think somebody got their music cape 2 weeks ago, and I didn't shout you out because I think you put it as like a Phalo teleport, and I didn't read it or comprehend what that meant. So that means you got a music cape. And I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I see you. And then finally, a pretty interesting achievement here in the miscellaneous category. Otis got his 20-year cape in RS3. I don't know if the account he plays on is the account that he has had for 20 years, but I know he has an account that is 20 years old, and he did achieve the 20-year cape. Guess you could say it takes a long time to get that cape, longer than most. But yeah, he's got it. It's pretty cool. I'm sure the emote is pretty sick. And when Michael gets his here in a couple of months, he'll have to show us, which is going to be pretty cool. Moving on into the combat category, rounding things out with the combat category. If you guys have been paying attention this week, you already know what's coming. You already know what's coming here. We do have a first fire cape this week. Famed Archer got his fire cape, something he's been looking forward to since he was 14. Finally got it. John Just Quit got his first Corrupted Gauntlet KC. Maybe that's why he quit, because Corrupted Gauntlet is hard. And then Jay Goose killed both the Gauntlet and the Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time this week, or these last 2 weeks, rather. Moving on over to Kits. Pats, who I still think is Trash Pats, got his Missouri kit, which is pretty cool. And then Habitat got his Phalanx. I don't know why I thought Habitat already had a Phalanx, but you know what? Just one more little gamer piece for him right here. One more little thing for Habitat to prove that he's a gamer. Oh, the last category. It's an interesting one. The last two achievements of Achievement of the Week. The old timers are going to get it. A lot of the new timers are not. The old timers are going to understand the weight of the statement here. We have 2 Infernal Capes this week. 2 of them, right? Darkside has finally achieved his Infernal Cape.
Damn.
But additionally, there's one more. There's one more Infernal Cape that I've been waiting to shout out for years. The other day, I woke up for work. I was tagged in something. I didn't know what I was tagged in. I went over to levels and achievements, and I saw that after years of telling him to do it, my boy Nate Dogg achieved his first fucking Infernal Cape. And that's the hypest I've been for a cape since I got my own. That's my co-captain. We both got capes now. And he's definitely going to beat me to a quiver. He's 100% going to. He like has been posting pictures of himself dying at Soul. He's going to beat me to a quiver for sure. But it is a big day. My boy Nate Dogg has finally achieved his Infernal Cape. And now he's going to understand. He understands it now. There's truly nothing more difficult in this game than getting your first cape. Nothing will be as hard as getting your first Infernal Cape. Jack said he got to wave 55 a few days ago. You're next. And then once Jack gets it, Submedient's got to get it. Then we're just going to start racking up. Then Toilet's got to get it. We're going to start racking up the bingo team usuals. Everybody's going to have an Infernal Cape on Oxie's bingo team. We're just going to go down the ride. You've been on multiple bingo teams with me. I'm coming for you. You gotta get your cape soon, brother. Zeno, Fane, Zero, I see you. It's time. It's time to get it going. But yes, a big day for Achievement of the Week. Like I said, an interesting dichotomy of the two, but that I suppose is neither here nor there. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about the awesome thing that you did, please head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the Levels and Achievements chat. As we say every week, it does not have to be an Infernal Cape. It does not have to be a quiver. It does not have to be 1,000,099s. People post updates all the time on the things that they're working on. People are posting XP milestone achievements. People are posting pictures of their player summary tab, their character summary tabs, just like what they're working on. You know, people post like, hey, I finally got base 84s or something like that. Like, people post all sorts of stuff that doesn't get shouted out. So I promise you, in our community, every achievement is worth talking about, right? Every single achievement in our community is worth discussing. Head over to our Discord and post about it. We talk about other things besides just RuneScape, and without fail, every week, there they are, the Raiders, the Sunday afternoon raid squad. They are out there. It's different people every time, but you will always find people in VC to come hang out, spend time with, play your favorite point-and-click MMO with. But that is Achievement of the Week. And I have spoken way more in the second half of this episode than I ever thought I would. But you know what? Here we are. So at this point, I'm going to pick up the pieces of shrapnel and metal and put them in a nice little bag. And I'm going to like Kobe it over to Michael. I'm going to say, Michael, do you have a fun question for us this week?
Got it. Got your little bag of shrapnel. I'm currently gluing them back together. And that process is what we like to call the fun question. So going on over to our Discord and looking in the fun questions section that if you are a patron, you have access to. Otis has given us 2 of his famous would you rather questions, and that's how we're gonna do this section. So thank you to Otis for these questions. The first one is, would you rather play Raging Echoes Leagues permanently or have the main game, but it's Walkman mode permanently?
I feel like for me, it's main game Walkman mode.
Oof.
Because main game Walkman mode at this point is just low level Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's just low level on a new account. And like, so whether if I'm making a new account, I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting myself into, and I know what to do to make it less Walkman mode-y. That comes as an issue when doing content. A lot of pieces of content in the game you need to be able to run. So I'm interested if we weren't allowed to run anymore in OSRS, what would that mean for PVM? You know, like I could confidently do Vorkath pretty well because you don't walk when you fight Vorkath.
True.
You know, but like a lot of other boss encounters, like Barrows would be slow but tolerable. What else? You know, like Hydra would be difficult. You probably could do a Raxor. Maybe. You just have to finesse it a little bit. You could probably do a Raxor. Probably could do Cerberus. I don't know if you get through Chambers, Tob, or TOA without being able to run. Maybe you get through Wardens, actually. Do you have to run at TOA a lot? Let's really think about it. Do you really have to run in TOA an excessive amount? I don't actually think you do. If you don't turn Aerial Assault on, even if you do and you're just tick perfect, I really don't think you need to run in TOA.
The jugs, Zebek would be the hardest because like the jugs thing where you get in the water, that would kind of suck. The like getting to the rock before Zebek goes, that would be kind of
getting hard. And both at Zebek and Baba, getting to the rocks would be tough.
The rocks would be difficult.
And then if you pretty much have to just know your positioning, right? Like you have to be comfortable where you're at, because like Akka, if you're on the other side of the room, you're gonna get killed at the memory puzzle.
Yep. It would just take more thought.
Yeah, a lot more thought, but I think it's doable. I think a Walkman mode TOA is actually doable. I'm just looking at the high scores list. If you can't tell, God Wars Dungeon, DK's, Corp, that's all doable. I don't think Duke sucks, but Duke is doable. I think all of God Wars, like I said, Giant Mole takes forever, but is doable. Calfight Queen, King Black Dragon, Kraken, Perilous Moons.
All of it would just be walking around the game would be the most arduous and time-consuming thing for me. Like, yes, once you get into the end game, lots of things can be accomplished via teleports. There's close teleports to a lot of things. You wouldn't walk that much.
Unless by Walkman mode, he means there are no teleports, period, in which case, sure, I'll take the lead.
Oh.
If in a game that's truly, there is no fast travel, I don't play it. But if I have to, for the sake of the content, I still think I'm Walkman mode.
You know what game has fast travel,
otherwise,
but is not like an integral, easy thing to do?
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Red Dead Redemption.
What is it? Oh, yeah, I never would have guessed. Have you been playing Red Dead Redemption?
Let me tell you, I have. It's a good game.
I would not have expected that from you. That's kind of wild.
But you don't want to fast travel because you want to level up your horse and bond with it. So, and riding a horse is just
horse has a level.
Yes.
Me when I'm leveling up horse. What the hell?
Dude. And there's different breeds of horses that have different stats, and you can steal horses and sell them. It's just a fun game. Anyway, I am the opposite because Walkman mode would not be fun for me. Yes, it would be fun in the sense, like the only exception to that would be I would just make a skiller and not do any PVM. Like this game would cease to become a game about PVM for me. And I would stand at the bank and just do everything that I can by not moving. Because walking is it's so slow. They could add like maybe 50% faster and it would be bearable. But the difference between walking and running in this game is atrocious. So no, I would not like that. What I would like though is the ability to play leagues permanently, but then just have multiple accounts. So you can experience all of the different builds in their optimal regions. Because what I'm assuming is like, if you only have access to leagues, you're going to have 3 accounts. You're going to have a melee build, a range build, and a magic build. And you're going to pick different regions in all of them. So you can experience the entire game. And maybe like one is a chambers with magic, when one is a melee with Tob, and one is a range with Toa. Like that's your 3 different builds, and those are your main raid regions. And then you just pick support regions that complement each of those. And then you end up with like a great spread of content that you can do all of the time. To be honest, like the biggest allure of leagues is like doing the tasks and getting the points and stuff. So it would get stale after a while, but I still think that the overall customization and endless possibilities of different combinations and different relic choices and all of the things that leagues is, you could like entertain yourself for a long time if that was your only choice. Because think of all the different like unlock paths that you could take. You could make an entire build centered around what Golden God could give you, or an entire build centered around how do you maximize Production Prodigy. Like I would take it even a step farther and say I would still play a leagues type server without even the like boosted XP. Just give me everything leagues gives you as far as faster attack speeds, all the relics, masteries, region locking. But like if you just took the XP multipliers away, it would still be a fun game mode, because then it gives that game mode more longevity. So
wild.
Yeah. But it could go either way for me. Main game, walk mode, leagues, permanent. But I think I'm leaning more towards a permanent leagues situation. Thank you, Otis, for that first question. Here's the second one. And this one I don't quite understand. So I'm going to read it to you and see what your thoughts are. And we'll get into it. So, would you rather have a 5-minute bank timer resetting every 8 hours, or a 30-minute timer resetting every week? I don't know what a bank timer is. And maybe that's like you can only access your bank for that many minutes at a time. So you would
Both
only
options seem like shit.
You would only have 5 minutes to access your bank every 8 hours, or you could have 30 minutes of accessing your bank, but it lasts a week. I don't know. This one I would need clarification. And unfortunately, Otis is not here with us in the recording booth to ask. But just based on that knowledge alone, and if that's how we're interpreting the question, which one would you choose?
Neither. 30 minutes of bank access a week? Neither. What happens if I'm going to do PVM and then just like forget something like, oh no, I forgot my Book of the Dead outside the 5 minutes. Guess I'll go fuck myself. Like I just can't. Yeah. I can't switch my runes out of my rune pouch. So it's like there's no point in like swapping spell books. So I really will just go fuck myself.
So like the game is playable.
Sounds real shit.
The game's playable because UIMs exist. The game is playable without a bank.
Let me back up. It's not playable in a way I care to play.
Sure. I think that's
how I see it.
This boils down to like speed chess strategies where you are really thinking about your next move before your timer starts, and then as soon as your timer starts, you're like boom boom, and then you're done. So like we would all get super good at like one ticking the bank to where the timer never goes down. Like if it doesn't hit one tick, it never counted, just like prayer flicking. So you could one tick flick the bank to where open, close, open, grab a thing, close, open, grab a thing, close. So I would take the 5-minute timer, to be honest with you, if that was our choice, because 30 minutes a week, it doesn't sound balanced. If it was an hour every week, I think that would be way more balanced to 5 minutes every 8 hours. Because essentially what you're saying is it's going to reset like twice. Potentially, if you've got like if you're in the morning session and then you got like an after work session, you get 2 resets per day of that 5-minute timer, and maybe you want to waste it all organizing it. But like if you
No, see what I'm picturing now is like, I know you've never done it, but like y'all know how you have like the timers when you do dating apps. Like you have it used to be a 12-hour timer, now it's a 24-hour timer. It used to be unlimited way back in the day, but now it's not. Where like you swipe on apps and you have 20-minute or 24 hours. But so like, let's say you do your swiping at 8 o'clock in the morning, you swipe till 8:15, you have to wait till 8:15 the next morning. And the time just like keeps creeping forward and forward to the point where it's like, at this point, I might as well wait like 2 days. Cause like, it's an inconvenient time for me to be swiping. Cause like, you know, you end up swiping at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to just like wait. It's actually 2 more days because you fall asleep before 1 a.m. It's like, that's what I'm picturing with this 8-hour reset. You know,
it can get that way with like tree runs if you want to bring it back to the game. Like you're on a 12-hour clock every time you do a tree run, but you accidentally wait 3 hours, and now suddenly your next tree run is done at 2 in the morning, and you're not waiting. So you've just missed the cycle.
But you don't think about tree runs as the thing.
If you're trying to get 99 farming, you can get pretty rhythmic with it. But I see where you're coming from, and I understand.
Like when you're thinking about like, damn, I want to use my bank. I got a bank. Damn, I got a bank. I got a bank. I got a bank. I got a bank. And then your time slot gets pushed back to like, all right, you fucked up and you started your 8-hour cycle at 6 p.m. in the evening, you know.
Well, he's okay. So he says it resets every 8 hours. So I would assume midnight, it's going to reset, and then it's going to reset at 8 a.m. and then it's going to reset blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, it's not 8 hours after you've used your 5 minutes. So on a schedule, the daily reset, we get another 8 hours and then 8 hours from there. Because he said resetting every week. What if you went like 3 weeks without using your 30-minute timer? I don't think this one was necessarily.
But it'll be that weird server time 8, which is like 8 p.m. Eastern for midnight or something like that. Yeah, it will be weird server timers. I don't know. Otis, you got to explain to us what you meant by this question. Because I feel like maybe you're talking about like the logout timer.
Oh,
like you have there's a 5-minute logout timer for your bank where like if you like log out and then log back in, you don't have to re-enter your bank PIN.
Oh, maybe
something like that. Maybe that's what you mean. I don't actually know. But if this is what you're talking about, trying to theory craft 5 minutes every 8 hours for a bank timer, I'm just gonna play another game. I gotta live with you. I think I'm gonna get the tattoo removed and we'll play a different video game.
I think you're right. Because is there a timer now for putting in your bank PIN? I know that you can set it up to where like if you're hopping worlds, you can tell the banker, hey, don't ask me again for my PIN because I'm just hopping worlds.
Well, it's 5 minutes, I think, where like you could, and it's really helpful for mobile. Because like, let's say you're bank standing on mobile and you get up for 2 seconds, so you go to the bathroom, you log out because the mobile timer on your phone is like 8 seconds or something. You log out, you log back in, you have to re-enter your thing.
Yeah.
That's been around for a while where you can set it to where you don't need to re-enter your bank PIN when you hop worlds or when you log out for just like 2 seconds, you know, like.
I think this is what he means. I think we're reading. I don't know what he means. Too far into it. I'm reading too far.
I don't know what you mean, Otis. And at this point, I'm a little too afraid to ask. We're here. You know what? We're here. And that's the answers that we sent.
Yeah.
That's the answer that we sent for the fun question.
Thank you, Otis. If you guys want to ask us a fun question, there's a couple ways you can do so. The most popular seems to be posting it in the fun question section. And if you're a patron of our Discord and our show, you can post that fun question in the fun questions channel where we potentially will read it in order. Sometimes there's like a really good one and we just have to get to it. But generally we just go in chronological order of when they were posted. Another really popular one is if you look behind me, there's a bunch of postcards. I would say
head shape art she's got
99% of those postcards have a fun question on them. So if you want to ask us a fun question, the non-traditional way, you want to send it in the mail, keep the post office going, send us a postcard, and we will dedicate this entire section to you and showing off your postcard, reading whatever you wrote on the postcard, and then ultimately, if you wrote a fun question, we will answer your fun question. If you want the link for the P.O. Box, it will be in the description, but I'll give it to you now. P.O. Box 2376, Keller, Texas 76244. Again, that's in the description. I love receiving postcards. It's a highlight of my time going up there, looking in the little deposit box, and I need more to fill in this little void, because until there's enough, we're just gonna have a void where my head goes. Just it's there. I could move around my setup a bit to have the postcards be like right there to the left of me. Is it the left or the right? That's my left, your right, behind me. And I may do that one day, but that day is not today. And we need more postcards. So especially if you are not from the US, send me a postcard from where you're from. I want to see how far reaching this show is. And I always love seeing the cool destinations and cool places that you guys live and the unique postcards that these places offer. So send us a postcard. P.O. Box is in the description.
You know what else is in the description? Every link you'll ever need for us, ever. We got all sorts of stuff down there. Come check it out. Do you want to see more of us off the platform? I think Michael and I are effectively done using Twitter for the time being, maybe forever, who knows? Come find us on Blue Sky. I don't know. Go find us on YouTube or Spotify, whichever one you didn't watch on for this episode, or like Apple Music. I don't know. Go like rate us on Apple Music. We don't really do anything on Apple Podcasts, but I think we're distributed there.
We are.
So I don't know. Go ahead and give us a good rating. I'm not sure. It's been real, folks. It's been fun. Like I said, thank God this wasn't a news post episode, because I feel like Michael and I would have fallen into a pit of despair with nothing to talk about. So instead, we talked about other pits of despairs that were hanging out, and I think it went much better than what we initially thought it was going to be earlier in the day. But with all that said, thank you guys for sticking around. We will bring you more snazzy Xpwaste content here in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then eventually there'll be RuneFest. So brace yourself for that, which I gotta tell you right now, I don't know what the RuneFest episode is going to look like. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if we're going to record like this. I don't know if we're just going to make shit up on our phones. I don't know if we're going to do the interviews again. We'll see what we can pull off, because we're there to have a good time. And if we come out of it with next to no content, just know that we had a good time. And we're going to be happy to tell you about it after the fact. But that is the last of the things that I have to say for today. So, Michael, you got any final thoughts?
Call your mom.
Call your mom. All right, folks. We will see you guys next week. Bye. Everyone.